Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Throughout his journey and the many battles he's had along the way, Zoro has not only scored multiple victories, but also has acquired several new swords, some of which he got in unexpected ways. And these weapons are becoming more and more powerful, and are preparing Zoro to face his greatest enemy, Dracula Mihawk. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what will happen when Zoro finally manages to defeat Mihawk, and what the fate of Mihawk's sword Yoru will have after his possible defeat against Zoro in his final fight. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, especially with that old YouTube algorithm, and it keeps motivating us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, Roanoa Zoro is a prominent character within the One Piece universe, and almost always comes in first or second in the worldwide popularity polls. Now, he's a member of the Straw Hat crew, led by Monkey D. Luffy, and Zoro is known for his exceptional skill with the sword, as well as his goal of becoming the greatest swordsman in the world. Zoro is an extremely skilled swordsman who developed his own three-sword fighting style, also known as Santoryu, and he wields a sword in each hand and a third in his mouth, and he's dedicated his training in ways to look to improve his skills and fight in ways that no other swordsman can. Zoro's ambition to become the greatest swordsman in the world is one of the main pillars of his personality, and he's willing to face incredible challenges and constantly looks to surpass his former self. When Zoro first met Mihawk during the very early parts of the story, he faced the strongest swordsman in the world and suffered a crushing defeat. However, this defeat did not discourage Zoro. Instead, it motivated him even more to achieve his goal, and this is where he made that iconic promise to Luffy to never lose again. Since his defeat at the hands of Mihawk, Zoro has worked tirelessly to hone his skills and become an even more powerful swordsman, and he constantly trains and seeks even greater challenges and foes to defeat, all the while continuing to progress towards his goal. Zoro's journey to become the world's greatest swordsman is one of the most notable character development arcs in One Piece, and his determination, skills, and commitment to overcoming challenges are not only admirable, but they make him an extremely important and beloved character. As the story has progressed, each of the main characters' powers and abilities have continued to develop and continue to create this expectation of epic clashes in the future. But Zoro in particular has shown incredible progression throughout the series, facing increasingly more powerful opponents as well as adding to his own bank of sword techniques. Now, although Zoro does have that goal of becoming the greatest swordsman in the world and has this strong motivation to defeat Mihawk, it's important to consider that Mihawk is not only an incredibly skilled swordsman, but also a character with great integrity and respect for his opponents. In fact, Mihawk recognized Zoro's potential during their very first meet and was actually willing to help Zoro in his growth rather than just simply defeat him. Furthermore, Zoro's a character who values that honor and ethics of sword duels. So as we are getting ever closer to that final fight between Zoro and Mihawk, with Mihawk's possible defeat, Zoro might choose not to take his enemy's sword. And not taking Mihawk's sword could end up being a conscious decision on Zoro's part. Zoro instead might choose to follow his own path and obtain swords based on his own achievements, or perhaps even have his own forged and create a new legendary sword that reflects his own achievements and values, not just picking up the legacy of the former greatest swordsman. Thusly, Zoro would really embody that idea of creating his own mark on the world as the world's greatest swordsman, rather than simply inheriting somebody else's legacy. Rather, he would be having his own deeply meaningful and personal approach to achieving his goal. And this is something that Zoro's already shown, because his approach to creating his own sword style and avoiding taking those styles of his enemies makes him more recognizable worldwide as a great swordsman, just like a legendary blacksmith would set themselves apart from their predecessors. By refusing Mihawk's sword, he would not only be refusing a powerful weapon, but also the easy shortcut to recognition itself. Instead, he would choose to face challenges head-on, overcoming each obstacle with his own skills, his own swords, and his own determination. In choosing this more challenging and personal journey, Zoro not only becomes an inspiring example for other aspiring swordsmen, but also represents that central idea of One Piece. And that idea, of course, is the importance of following your own dreams and values, regardless of the difficulties. So Zoro embodies that philosophy that the journey to achieve a goal is as valuable as the goal itself. And if Zoro decided to flip the script and created his own legendary sword, Zoro could even set a new standard for what it means to be the greatest swordsman in the world. His sword would not just be a formidable weapon, but also a symbol of his determination, courage, and dedication. And it would be tangible proof that he had achieved the rank of greatest swordsman in the world, not through inheritance or luck, but through his own merit. This narrative also opens up space to explore different possibilities for the future of our story, allowing Zoro to leave his mark on the world in an even more present and tangible way. And just like the swordsmen who become blacksmiths and who make extremely powerful swords throughout the ages, perhaps this is the legacy that Zoro will choose to leave behind, where he would not only become a master of the sword, but also a great blacksmith recognized worldwide for his great work in forging those special swords that could surpass all existing other swords. Therefore, if he refuses Mihawk's sword and decides to create his own, Zoro not only achieves his goal of becoming the greatest swordsman in the world, but also inspires future generations to follow their dreams with passion and determination, and regardless of the challenges that may arise along the way. So as Zoro travels the seas alongside the Straw Hats, he's going to continue to challenge himself, and by extension, push the limits of what is possible as a swordsman. If he refuses to accept Mihawk's sword and chooses to create a sword of his own and become an inspiration for everyone around him, this could also motivate his crewmates and also others who might cross his path. Furthermore, this decision by Zoro creates a fascinating dynamic between him and Mihawk. So instead of being eternal adversaries, they can develop a deeper mutual respect based on the understanding that true greatness is not only measured by swordsmanship, but also by character, determination, and that ability to impact the world around them. In this way, Zoro not only becomes the world's greatest swordsman, but also an icon and a legendary figure, just like those famed samurai of old, like Ryuma from Wano. And his name would resonate through the ages, where he has a story of overcoming and self-discovery and remaining an enduring testament that with passion, courage, and that unwavering belief in yourself, any goal can be achievable. And by refusing Mihawk's sword, or here's an even more interesting possibility, what if he breaks Mihawk's sword and reforges it to make his own? Either way, he creates his own path and leaves an indelible mark on the history of the world of One Piece. And he could even be seen as a beacon of hope for all those who seek to achieve their dreams, no matter how challenging they may seem. So Zoro's refusal to simply inherit Mihawk's legacy and instead create one of his own destiny demonstrates that he possesses an ideal and unshakable determination, choosing to follow the more difficult path that he can overcome with his own effort. This would demonstrate that true greatness lies not only in the ability to defeat formidable opponents, but also how to use our skills to make a difference in the world and inspire those around us. You see, overcoming goals more and more without giving up, in addition to seeking out our own destiny, not just depending on the easy paths that have already been taken by somebody else, is something unique and could even be a different approach to how Mihawk got the title of greatest swordsman in the world when he obtained it. And so Zoro's journey to become the greatest swordsman in the world, in his own way, with his own rules, continuing to overcome his own limits and increase his determination to achieve his dreams, will leave a lasting mark on the world. And this might even come with the added benefit that after Zoro gets that fabled title of greatest swordsman in the world, it's not just gonna fade away, because it's gonna be how he obtained, how he increasingly surpassed himself, and not just himself, but also for his companions. Because we could easily make that argument that Zoro's destiny, as well as a lot of the other destinies of the Straw Hat crew, are innately intertwined with Luffy's, because as they help Luffy achieve his dream, he will stop at nothing to help them achieve theirs. And this makes it something very special, where it was the collective and the individual that really made everything happen, not just personal desire or taking somebody else's path. So with all that said, my friends, we'd now love to know what you think about it. What do you think's gonna happen when Zoro finally defeats Mihawk? Do you think, as we've postulated here on the channel, that he might actually break Mihawk's sword in kind of a full circle moment back to when Zoro first faced off against Mihawk? Or will he take Yoru? Or will he maybe forge his own blade? What do you think's gonna happen? And also, when do you think we might actually get to see this fated duel happen? We know we're in that final saga and that Elbaf is the next destination. So could it be there because Mihawk just happens to be checking in on Shanks? Or is it more of an end of the series endgame kind of thing? Let us know what you think in the comments below. As we wrap up our video for the day, we want to first thank you all so much for watching, especially those of you who've made it here to the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you all in our next video. Let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.